How many games will the Las Vegas Raiders win in 2026? What's going on, guys and Raiders fans? It's your boy Mail Jones here, back with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be predicting the 2026 Las Vegas Raiders record prediction for the 2026 NFL season. We're going to get things started here. I'm going to go game by game picks and game by game analysis, see which games I think the Raiders will win and which games I think the Raiders will lose. But before I give you my record prediction for the Las Vegas Raiders for 2026 NFL season, don't forget to put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel, more option, and comment down your opinion below to see how good you think the Raiders will be. Do you think the Raiders are going to win division? Do you think they make the playoffs, or you think they're going to be a bad team, miss out on the playoffs again? Let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Okay, so week one, they get things kicked off against the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, I could definitely see this game going either way. Now, I know most people could be on the Dolphins to win and all that because they're more stable at the quarterback position. But I am going to say the Raiders get their first win of the season in the home opener. So I'm giving the Raiders their first win. The reason for it is that I think the Raiders, have pretty much improved their roster a bit. They pretty much are more talented overall because they added some linebackers. They added guys in the secondary. Their offensive line is probably going to be better than the Dolphins. Now, both teams don't have great receivers, but I think the Raiders pretty much have more weapons on offense that can really give the Dolphins defense a lot of problems, like Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty. I feel like Ashton Jeanty is going to be running all over that Dolphins defense. And I think that that Brock Bowers is going to have a good game as well. So, yeah, and I think the Raiders defense is going to be able to make more stops, which I think they can do a good job getting after Malik Willis and making life difficult on him. So, yeah, I think the Raiders I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a defensive game, but I think the Raiders defense is just going to win them the game itself. So, I'm going with the Raiders to win this game here in week one. Week two, they got to play on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. I got the Chargers winning this game because the Chargers, they're just a much more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're at home. And they pretty much got more weapons on offense as well. And they got more weapons on defense. I mean, the Chargers defense is like a top 10 unit last year. And I wouldn't trust a rookie on the road against that good of a defense like the Chargers. But the Chargers defense could decline, though, because they lost Jesse Minter, who was their best defensive coordinator. And I just feel like the Chargers offense is going to make more plays as well because I don't think the Raiders really have the defense to cover the Chargers. But I think that McConkey, Quentin Johnson, David Njoku have a good game as well. Now, the Chargers may not be able to run the ball as much, but I think the offense can make some more plays there. So I think the Chargers win that game for sure. And then week three, they got to play on the road against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. This is another game that can go either way, but I am going to go with the Saints here. And the reason why I'm picking the Saints to win is because I just think the Saints are going to be a much more complete team. And I just think the Saints pretty much have a better defense than the Raiders. Because the Saints, they can stop the pass, they can stop the run. I mean, their offensive line is not good. But their receiving core may not be as good as well. So, yeah. And I just really think that, the Saints, I feel like offensively they'll make more plays. I feel like Chris Olave and David Njoku feel like Chris Olave and Travis Etienne can be a problem. And I feel like, and I just have a feeling that, they have weapons on offense that can really give the Saints Raiders defense problems. So yeah, I feel like Shuck can have a good game as well. And I think the Saints pretty much are a much more complete team and have the better quarterback. So yeah, I think the Saints will win that game for sure at home. Then week four against the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning this game because I think the Chiefs are a much more complete team. They have the better quarterback and better coaching staff. Yeah, I understand the Raiders did beat them without Mahomes last year. So, yeah, that's something you got to remember. But I think the Chiefs, they're just more talented. And the Chiefs might take a step back this year. So, yeah, but the Chiefs, I feel like they will make the playoffs though, because they did make some improvements on offense and they made improvements on defense as well, which I wouldn't trust a rookie against an elite defense like the Chiefs, which why I think the Chiefs will win that game for sure. So yeah. Then week 5, they got to play on the road against New England Patriots. This is a win for the Patriots because the Patriots are the more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're also at home in this game, and I just don't think the Raiders defense will have answers for A.J. Brown or Romeo Doubs or Hunter Henry. I think those guys will have a good game here. And the Patriots pretty much do have the better defense in this game. So, yeah, so I just really think that, the defense of, the Patriots is just going to be a little bit too, it's going to be a handful, which I don't think the Raiders offense is going to be able to move the ball well against them because I don't think the Raiders really have a lot of weapons on offense that can really give the Patriots defense problems. So, yeah, and I just really think that, the Patriots do have corners that can get sticky against an underwhelming receiving core as well, too. So, yeah, so I think the Patriots, they should easily win that game. Then week 6, they got to play at home versus the Buffalo Bills. This is a Bills win here because the Bills are just a much more complete team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coaching staff. And Josh Allen is going to be too much for your defense. And I feel like they did revamp their receiving core, adding DJ Moore. I feel like DJ Moore can have a good game. I feel like Dalton Kincaid can, Khalil Shakir. And James Cook can at least have a good game too as well, which I don't think the Raiders defense will have answers for. The Bills defense is kind of similar. It's kind of the same as yours, which I think they pretty much do have the defense to at least confuse the Raiders offense as well. And they do got guys in the secondary that can really man up against the Raiders receiving core, which the Raiders receiving core is not as good as the Bills. So, yeah. So, either way, the Bills, they should win that game. Then week 7, they got to play at home against Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, this is a Rams win right here. I mean, the Rams, they're the more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. And Stafford just going to be too much for your defense. So, yeah. And I just feel like the Rams do have the defense. They can really get after the quarterback. They have the pass rush to do that. They have the guys in the secondary now that they can man up against the Raiders' weaponry. And the Rams do have the offense. They have the weapons to move the ball against the Raiders' defense, which I don't think the Raiders' defense is going to have answer for Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams. So I think those guys are going to have a good game right here. And especially the Rams have a better are just a more talented team overall, have the better offense. So, yeah, so either way it goes, I mean, the Rams, they should win that game. Then week 8, they got to play on the road against the New York Jets. This is a tricky game to choose. I mean, I could see this game going either way because I went back and forth on this because one time I picked the Raiders, and then one game I picked the Jets. So I don't really know. I'm probably going to come back to this one and leave this a tie. Then they have to play, next game they got to play on the road against San Francisco 49ers and San Fran. I think the Niners win this game here, and the reason for it is that, the Niners are just a more complete team. They're at home. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coaching staff. And I don't think the Raiders defense is going to have an answer for Mike Evans or George Kittle. I think those guys are going to have a good game, and I feel like Pearsall can have a good game. And I feel like McCaffrey can, which I don't think the Raiders defense have answers for. And I feel like Kyle Shanahan is going to find answers for the Raiders defense. And the Niners pretty much on the other side does have a better defense, in my opinion. I feel like the pass rush of the Niners is going to be a handful for the Raiders. So, yeah, but the Niners, I know they can't defend the pass really well, but I feel like, they don't have a great pass defense, but I think they will find a way to at least stop the pass in this game. So, yeah, and I feel like Purdy is just going to dice you up. So, yeah, so I think the Niners will win that game for sure. Then week 10, they got to play at home versus Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, this is a Seahawks win right here. The Seahawks are a more complete team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coaching staff. Yeah, and Seattle's defense is too good, and I wouldn't trust a rookie against that good of a defense like the Seahawks. And Mike McDonald's really good at confusing young quarterbacks because I really feel like Seattle's defense is going to be a handful for the Raiders because they do have a deep, good pass rush that can really get to the quarterback. They have a great secondary that can really defend the pass really well. And on the other side, the Seahawks got weapons on offense that can really give the Raiders defense issues. Because I feel like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, and those guys are going to have a good game. And I just really feel like, the offense is going to be too much for the Raiders defense to handle, so which is why I think the Seahawks will win that game. Week 11, they got to play at home versus the Denver Broncos. It's on the road in Denver, so I got the Broncos winning this game because the Broncos are at home. They got the better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're a more complete team, and I wouldn't trust a rookie on the road against an elite defense like the Broncos. So the Broncos defense is going to be a handful for that because the Raiders don't have a lot of weapons on offense that are going to be able to move the ball against them. And the Broncos receiving core is better, which they have more weapons now since they added Jalen Waddle. I just really felt the Broncos offensively, they're just going to at least overpower them and just move the ball on the Raiders. So yeah. So basically I think the Broncos, they should easily win that game. Then week 12, they got to play at home against the Cleveland Browns. This is another game that can definitely go either way. I could see a point where the Raiders win, but I'm going to go with the Browns here. And the reason for it is that I just feel like the Browns defense is really good at home because of the fan base. Now, I know they lost Myles Garrett, but they did add Jerry Verse to replace him, which that's nice. Their secondary is fine. I mean, their offensive line, it's okay, but it did improve a little bit. But they don't have a great receiving core, but I feel like they did improve it in the draft by adding Denzel Boston and KZ Conception. I don't think that both teams will do much offensively, but I think the defense of the Browns might find a way to win them this game here. So yeah, I feel like it will be a low scoring game, but I just think the Browns, pretty much have, the defense to at least get after the Raiders offensively, because even last year when these two teams played, the game was in Vegas and the Browns did beat them. And that was when Shador was playing. So yeah. So either way it goes, I think the Browns will win that game for sure. Then they have a bye week. And after the bye week, they have to play on the road against the Las Vegas. They got to play versus the Chargers at home. I actually think you're going to split the Chargers. So I'm going to give the Raiders a win here because I feel like in this game, I think the Raiders, I feel like Fernando Mendoza is going to outduel Herbert in this game. So yeah, and the Raiders do have the defense to at least get after Herbert and make life difficult on him. So yeah, so either way it goes, I think the Raiders are going to win that game for sure. So yeah. And then next game, week 15 versus the Denver Broncos. This is a game that can go either way. I mean, I can totally see the Raiders beat the Broncos once, but I'm going to go with the Broncos here to sweep the season series because I just feel like the Broncos are going to have more to play for because they have a better chance to make the playoffs and the Raiders are going to be playing for nothing. So, yeah, and the Broncos are just a much more complete team and have the better quarterback and coaching staff. So, yeah, that's why I think the Broncos are going to sweep the Raiders again this season. Week 16, they got to play at home versus the Tennessee Titans. This is another game that I can see definitely go either way. I know most people could be picking the Titans to win because they just got more stable at the quarterback position. But I am going to go with the Raiders here at home. Go with the Raiders because the Raiders are at home. They pretty much have, I just feel like the Raiders pretty much have a better defense than the Titans, which I think the Raiders defense is going to make more stops. And I just really think that I just don't see how the Titans offensively are going to be able to move the ball successfully against them. So, yeah, so I don't really see how that happens. So, yeah, so I kind of really feel like there's a chance I think, the Raiders offense can have success there because I don't really think the Titans really have the guys in the secondary that can really man up against Brock Bowers. I think like Bowers can have a good game here. So yeah, I think the Raiders win that game for sure. Week 17, they got to play against the Arizona Cardinals. This is another game that can go either way. I could see a point where the Raiders win this game. I mean, I can really see it. I mean, like I can see a point where they can do it, but I don't know if I really have a lot of faith. Here's the thing. Now the Raiders do have a better defense overall than the Cardinals. They got more players on defense than the Cardinals. The Cardinals on the other side got more weapons on offense, but their defense is sketchy a little bit. The quarterback situation is in question. They got a new head coach in Mike LaFleur. And now Clint Kubiak and Mike LaFleur have known each other before because they both met each other 3 times in the season when one was in the Rams and one was in the Raiders. I don't know. This is tough though, but you know what? I'm going to come back to this one as well. And then week 18, they play against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will sweep the season series and beat the Raiders because the Chiefs are a much more complete team and have more to play for because they have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Raiders are playing for nothing this game. So, yeah. So that's why I think the Chiefs will win. So, overall, I have the Raiders sitting at 3-12-2. Leaving the 2 more games left, they have the Jets and the Cardinals left. But I think in one of these games, I think the Raiders are probably going to lose one of these games. I don't think they're going to win both. I think they're going to lose one of them. And I don't think they're going to lose both. I don't think they're going to win both. I think they're going to win one of these games. You know what? I'm going to say they beat the Jets because I don't really think the Jets, have a lot of personnel on defense. And I just don't really think the Jets offense is going to be able to move the ball successfully. I think the Raiders defense is going to load the box, stop the run, and all that, force mistakes and all that. So yeah, and then I just really think that the Raiders offensively, I feel like Genty could have a good game. I feel like Bowers can have a good game, and I feel like Clint Kubiak he's gonna find his way to scheme things up on the Jets defense, which I don't think the Jets defense is anything special, and I'm really not a believer in their head coach as well. So yeah, which why I really think the Raiders win this game. I wouldn't rule out the Jets winning, but I think the Raiders will win because I think the Raiders are just going to be a much more better team, and I feel like they're going to have a much more better coaching staff than the Jets. So yeah, that's why I got the Raiders winning that game. And then against the Arizona Cardinals, I'm going to give the Cardinals a win here because I think the Cardinals got more weapons on offense. They have. I just don't think the Raiders defense secondary is going to be able to go toe to toe against the Cardinals weaponry. I feel like Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. will be a problem. So yeah, and I feel like the Cardinals offensively can stay balanced, which that keeps the Raiders defense on their heels. So yeah, I mean the Cardinals defense may not be as good as the Raiders, but I think the Cardinals defense. I feel like as long as they contain the Raiders, they should be fine. So yeah, I feel like it will be close and competitive, but I think the Cardinals are going to find a way to sneak this one out. So overall, I have the Raiders going at a total record of 4-13, which that's not really good. And I know it's disappointing for Raiders fans. 1-5 in the division, 4-8 in the conference, 3-5 at home, 1-8 away. I mean, that's pretty. That's like pretty good and all that. I mean, that's pretty good for the Raiders. Which is not bad. If you look at the schedule, I mean, it's pretty tough because they even got to play their own division, which they're in a tough division right now, which they have to play the Chiefs twice, the Chargers twice, and the Broncos twice. They play the Bills, They play the Patriots. They even got to play another good division, which is the NFC West, which is the Rams, Seahawks, and Niners. Yeah. So basically, and they got to play the Saints as well. So yeah. So basically, this is a tough schedule. So I mean, the Raiders are pretty much better than. As you look at the record, I feel like the Raiders pretty much have built their roster and pretty much revamped their roster to be a much more complete team than we were last year. But they have a terrible schedule, which that's why. But so yeah, like I think the coaching of the Raiders did improve because they had Clint Kubiak. I like Clint Kubiak. I feel like he's a guy that can call an offense. He can call plays, but I just don't know if he has a quarterback to function with it. I feel like Fernando Mendoza. I feel like he's going to be a good quarterback in the future, and I feel like he will be good for this Raiders organization. But I still have questions about their offense because they need receivers to go along with Bowers. Aston Genty's entering through his second year. We'll see what he can do. The offensive line did improve a little bit by adding Tyler Linderbaugh for free agency. The defense did kept Crosby, which I feel like it'll be a lot better than last year because as long as Crosby is still there, they did improve their linebacking core by adding multiple veterans. And their secondary, I mean, they added Teron Johnson to the secondary, but I don't think he's a good number one. But I feel like they need another cornerback. So yeah, so they need improvements on defense a little bit. So yeah. So I feel like the Raiders, 4-13 sounds about right for them. I feel like they go somewhere from like 4 to like 6 wins this year. Maybe 7 or 8 at best if everything goes right, or maybe they win like 9, like who knows. So yeah. I mean, I just hope the Raiders prove me wrong, but I just feel like 4-13 sounds about is probably right for the Raiders. Because I'm only got them in last place in the division because they're in a tough division with the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos, who I kind of have making the playoffs though. So yeah, I mean, the Raiders are an interesting team. I would like to see what they can do with their rookie quarterback. But I just feel like this is a year they're not going to be that much better in 2026, and I just don't think they're there yet. I'll at least get them at least a year or two, and maybe they can get back to the playoffs to at least take this team by storm. So yeah, so 4-13 for the Raiders is my prediction for the Raiders. So yeah, so you let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Like, if you disagree with this, or if you agree with this, or you disagree with me with this, like, let me know in the comments section below what you guys think and what your recommendation for the Raiders is. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones. I'm a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. And you can see all my videos and you can see all my record predictions through my playlist as well. So, yeah. But I want to thank you guys again for watching all 32 record prediction videos for 2026. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in because I know it's been fun doing them. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in to all of them. I'll see you guys later. Peace.